Hello everybody, this is Doc Holliday bringing you a Medieval Total War 2v2 battle. This was a battle that my partner was the Pug on Fire. Rules were 6-2 Cav, no Arty, no Ellie, no guns. We brought balanced armies. I actually have 6 Pavis. I have 2 Pavis crossbow militia, 4 Pavis crossbows. I have 2 Knights Hospitaller, and then 4 mounted Norman Knights. And then for my heavy infantry, I have 4. I know I just said tree infantry. I have 4 sword and buckler men on my flanks, and then 4 dismounted Norman Knights making up my center. And then Pug on Fire, he brought dismounted feudal knights, a mixture of them. So he has a total of 4 armored swordsmen, 4 dismounted feudal knights. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then he has 1, 2, 3, 4 retinue longbowmen. He has 2 Sherwood archers. He has a unit of dismounted English knights, and then he has 3 English knights, 1 general's bodyguard, and 2 knights hospitaller. And then our opponents today are fighting as France, and I believe it was Russia. 99% sure it was Russia. So we will we'll know shortly. I'm going to fast forward until they make an appearance, and then we'll go over their army count. Alright, so yes, we are fighting Russia. We're fighting against Lancelot 14 and Knightly Games. So Lancelot 14 has has a crossbow militia, 2 dismounted Devore. He has a unit of peasants as meat shields. He has a general's bodyguard, a unit Druzina, and I think that he has 1 unit of Devore Cav. And for his infantry, he has 1 dismounted Druzina, a British axeman, dismounted Boyar Sons, British axeman, dismounted Boyar Sons, British axeman, dismounted. So he's got a mix of all kinds of stuff. And then Knightly Games brought 4 chivalric knights and 2 lancers. I think Knightly Games might be a new player, or might have been a new player at this point. This was a game that we played probably about a month ago, and anybody who's been playing for any amount of time knows you don't bring lancers. And even though they look fantastic, the reason is right there. There's no damn shield. So if you look at any of the other anything else that's a heavy cavalry unit with a shield, they're able to absorb a lot more impact or punishment. They're able to fight off in melee combat a lot better. So just about any heavy cavalry unit would beat lancers, even though they have better stats and cost more, just simply because of that shield and the way that the game engine manages the fighting. So in addition to his cav, he has I think 4 aventurier. He has pikemen, Swiss pikemen, but he brought a lot of pikes. He has 2 units of dismounted chivalric knights, and then he has more pikes. So Flemish pikemen, Flemish pikemen, Flemish pikemen, and that pretty much constitutes his army. So this was a battle where Pug and I really made some huge mistakes at first. We were talking to each other and thought that we might have an opportunity to take advantage of these guys, not really knowing what they were doing, and it came back to bite us in the ass because we made a lot of mistakes, which you'll see coming up. So let's get to the battle. So Lancelot has brought his Devore Cav around behind us. It looks like I'm just about to send one of my Norman Knights after him, and even though I know better, I mean, the best thing to do is just ignore them. Let those things be back there, because if any missile cav that's back here is going to be fast enough to run away from your heavy cav, and then when you turn your back to run away, they can pepper you from behind with their missiles, and that's just not going to be good. So I'm getting ready to his peasants are getting destroyed by my crossbowmen doing their job as being meat shields, and I'm going to go in for a couple of cav charges that are not going to work out so well because he's going to counter quite well with his cav, and it's not going to look pretty. So that's going to happen any time now, and all the while over here on this end of the field, I believe that Pugs they're just standing around just waiting to see what's going to happen. nothing quite so much is happening. Oh, and unfortunately we missed a cav charge while I was out here, so I'm going to lose this unit of Norman Knights right away. My intention was to get some more cav charges in, but once he started bringing everything out, it was clear that I was going to lose this unit of Norman Knights, and I was not real happy about that. So what I should have done at this point was brought in the rest of these units and try to charge, but my reaction time was a little too late because I was worried about this unit back there that had lost 7 men to these mounted boar cav, and I think I'm going to end up reacting with all of my cav to these guys, hoping that he doesn't notice they're coming, and see what I can do. But by doing that, I'm going to leave my entire force open to cav charges from Lancelot, and I believe that he's able to pick up on that. So, yeah, rookie mistake I'm making here. I've got 4 heavy cav chasing down one missile cav unit, which is just completely unacceptable. So, between all of our cav, we ended up taking out his all of our archer units. We ended up taking out his peasants, and so they soaked up all the arrows and did a great job as meat shields. So now here comes his cav, and they're going to get some great charges in on my infantry because I'm back here thinking that I'm penning this guy in, and all the while he's coming up with for cav charges. I've got nothing to stop him, and I'm not doing anything to stop him, which is not going to be good. So we'll watch and see what happens. So we'll see if we get some slow motion close-ups to this epic cav charge. So I've got some missiles firing into their men, but just not nearly enough. So you can see all the men that are flying, and it's just not good. I'm taking huge losses all along my front line here and all my heavy infantry due to my lack of paying attention. Luckily for me, my partner was paying attention. He gets his Knights Hospitaller in. We're going to pen in this Druzina unit and take them out. But unfortunately, it's just a little bit too late. So now he still has this DeVore cav unit running around back here, and I'm bringing up the rest of my cav, and we're going to have a great big old cav fight right now. But his units are going to get good charges in on my Knights Hospitaller unit, but they with the morale that the mortar units tend to have, they're going to hold on for quite a bit while I bring my men in and try to get a rear charge. But he pulls out, and unfortunately that just doesn't work. At this point, while he's moving forward, there's an epic cav charge from the English general that takes out almost an entire infantry of an entire unit of dismounted boyar sons infantry, and does quite a bit of damage to this dismounted Druzina. So he's getting some cycle charges in, and they're getting surrounded by a little bit this small unit of Druzina, but it's not going to be enough. So at this point, what we had talked about was that France wasn't doing anything, and we should try to team up on Russia to take them out. So that's why I'm hanging back, is he was going to engage, and knowing that Russia was going to start moving as much of his men over as possible, and then I'm going to begin moving forward, so that way I can take Russia in the flanks. The hope was that we could kind of pin them down with half of England's force here, take them with a little bit of my force on the side, and that way we would be just fine to take out just about all these guys. So it almost works. We've got almost a surround going, but not quite. Now, what France is doing in this that makes absolutely no sense to us at the time, and even now watching it, is he moved all of these pikemen over to the side, so they walked all the way around the Russian position and did nothing. They just sat here. So right now, while there's a skirmish war going on over here, and the Russian player is getting beaten up pretty bad because his infantry can't stand up to mine. And now he's going to get rear charge quite a bit from the English, just a small unit of English knights, and then my Norman knights are coming in. So one of the things to remember is a lot of guys, when they're playing this, especially late game, they think, oh, there's only 4 members of this cav unit left. There's only 3. There's only 5. Whatever. It's a small number. Never give up on those. Always keep charging them, even if there's 2 or 3 or 1 or whatever. If you can rear charge, the morale penalty that a lot of these units take for a rear cav charge is just amazing. So now all of Russia's infantry units are gone. They're just eliminated. And all the while, France just stood idly by. Now he's pushing up his pikemen now, but I'll be able to move my infantry to just get a line, to move them into a line, and we'll begin a line engagement. And again, Knightly Games has all of his cav sitting back there doing absolutely nothing. While he left all of his missile troops here and his chivalric knights to be taken out almost by the entirety of the English force, and he just sat back here where these men would have been absolutely decisive if he were charging into the back of my troops while I was fighting Russia or while England was fighting France. Now, as I'm talking about this, one of the things that I completely forgot about when I was talking about the mistakes that we made is, you see all these horses, this dead cav right here? That's an entire unit of English knights that my partner lost because he charged them into mistakes. So we were making fun of ourselves as that happened, like, Jesus, this is crazy. And then as we got to late game and we got to this point, we thought, well, we've got the infantry advantage, so we're hoping that we might be able to survive this. And if we could, that would be pretty crazy if we basically gave up 3 units of cav for nothing, and we still won. But here comes Knightly Games. He's finally charging his cav and doing something with it, but instead of bringing units behind to get rear charges into England and myself, he engages my crossbowmen. And you'll see that this is going to prove to be very important, because he focuses on these crossbowmen almost exclusively with this cav. So with 3 tiny little units of cav, which total half of a unit, and some crossbowmen, I'm able to tie down just about all his cav. Unfortunately, my general dies at this point, which is far from ideal, but you can see that his cav is just tied up completely over here, and it's not doing anything other than this one unit that is being taken care of by my unit of cav. So there's not much that his cav is going to accomplish in this entire battle, which is just unforgivable almost. It's criminal the way he handled his cav. So he does have a little bit. He has this unit of chivalric knights that comes in, rear charges my dismounted normal knights who break, and then my mounted Norman knights break. That was the only good cav charge that he had. And there's our crossbow bolts coming in, taking out the Russian general. But you can see that my men, my infantry have basically fought. This is their second line engagement after taking out the Russians, and they're more than holding their own. So one of the things that I did poorly here is I failed to really zoom in and see what was going on. Otherwise, I could have focused on these couple of 2 units in here that are of pikemen that are fighting on foot and had their swords out, and pushed through the line to get behind them. And I probably could have brought this unit of Norman knights back here. That's that one unit I'm talking about. That's all it would take to really get something happening. There goes the French general. He's down, and then his cav come in and hit with some rear charges. They rout the rest of my infantry. So my infantry will be out of the fight. I'll be pretty much done. But one of the things what they didn't do a very good job is look at all of the infantry that England has left. They have almost their entire infantry force, and the combined elements of Russia and France, they have some pikemen and not a lot of pikemen. So while these battles are going on, I've got some units that are coming back from routing. All my crossbows are firing in amongst these men. These men are going to engage them in hand-to-hand combat, and they're going to hold them up quite a bit, while I have this unit's firing in their flanks, these units are firing in these flanks, and then these men are coming up to engage. So I have more units that are returning from routing, and I'm just going to continue what I had told Mad Pug at this point was I'm going to focus on taking out as much of his cav as I can. I just needed him to eliminate what few units of infantry that they had been able to engage, and that that's all we needed to win this fight. So by holding them in place with this unit of Pavis, I'm able to rear charge them with these 4 Norman knights. I've got these sword and buckler men coming in from the flank, and then I'm still shooting at them with these 2 units of Pavis. and he has all of his missile troops firing at him as well. So you can see that there's just missiles coming in from everywhere, just decimating these guys. And there's our Lancers who no shield and just kind of sitting there doing absolutely nothing instead of charging, which I don't understand. So now my men start coming in, and with rear charges and with missile fire, they take them out. So now they don't have much of a cav superiority. I think that they have 2 cav, and then this is the English general. He has there's 2 units. There's 2 men in that unit as well. So just not a whole. This was not a good battle on our part. Far from it, but it was a heck of a win. It just was maximizing what we had left and making sure that we used it to our advantage. And it was also partly the fact that our opponents did not. I mean, just being frank, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. If anybody's watching this and they were part of this, it's just learning. As we all started somewhere. I was terrible when I started, and I'm hardly any good right now. So that's about it. So at this point, it's a win for us. There's a couple of pike units just fighting here, and at this point, I think we all kind of rear charge, and they give up. So they break and they rout.
Our soldiers have fought.
So we were able to survive. We were able to win, and we proved victorious. And took out whatever we could. So. My Sicilians had 982 kills with 130 captures. Pug on Fire had 809 kills with 93 captures. Knightly Games had 740 kills with 145 captures. And Lancelot had 536 with 51 captures. So that's the battle. I'm Doc Holliday. Again, like, comment, or subscribe below. Thanks so much for watching.